Starting a personal brand as a beginner is a recipe for disaster, is demoralizing, and will burn you out. Why do I say this? Because I spent 2 years and wasted thousands of dollars trying that path. As a beginner, there's no need to go through such amount of hardships, especially when there is a better way to get to $20,000 per month without even having to start a traditional online business. And if you're someone that right at this moment, not the 10-year millionaire vision, but right at this moment, all you're looking for is for a way to be able to make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per month online without having to invest money on complicated funnels, without having to invest money on ads, content equipment, or inventory expenses, well, then you were meant to receive this video somehow. In fact, I was able to get into this model without any previous sales experience and with a Spanish accent, as you can tell. And I went from working 9 hours in a kitchen to making $20,000 per month in profit in less than a year working from home. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what this model is, how it works, and why it's the safest model for a beginner to get to those 5 digits per month online. Let's start with what most people don't know. Look at these personal brands. What do they all have in common? We're talking about Elon Musk, Alex Hormozi, Jeff Bezos, Tony Robbins, Mark Cuban, Steve Jobs. This is a fact, not an opinion. Over 70% of self-made millionaires got started in sales. The good thing, though, is that you don't have to start in traditional sales nowadays, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the point with this is that, number one, sales is not only one of the best launch pads for entrepreneurship, but most importantly, is the one that has consistently made more millionaires. But there is a model inside of the online sales industry that didn't exist 10 years ago that does not require to message strangers, calling, having to deal with constant rejection. There's absolutely no need for that, and I'm going to share with you why in just a second. But this model is called high-ticket closing, and as the name states, it has nothing to do with selling. It's actually quite the opposite, because when you look at it, a closer in a closing call or in a sales conversation is the person who's speaking the least. How come? Because as a remote closer, all you have to do is to close the deal or enroll the client, collect the payment, and then get them onboarded into the service. But that's not the best part of high-ticket closing. The really interesting thing is that remote closing is currently a booming and in-demand service because it's solving a bleeding pain for a very, very profitable online industry. Let's take a look at it. Here's what's happening. First of all, what is this industry that I'm talking about? This mega profitable industry is called the online education industry. Inside of the online education industry, there are a lot of companies and personal brands that are selling education, courses, coaching programs, academies, mentoring, coaching, consulting services. And there's the big three here, which are health, wealth, and connection. So for example, fitness coaching program that will go here is $5,000, is 1 year, and you will have someone that will teach you the workouts, the nutrition plan, do the groceries for you, etc. In terms of wealth, we have any kind of vehicle that helps you make more money, multiply your money, or managing your money. And then connection might be connection to self-esteem, confidence, etc., all the way to parenting. And we can see examples here. So a parenting coach, this is a fitness offer, tax strategy. So this is inside of the wealth. I've put the category here so you can see that this is fitness consulting. So this is like how to grow your fitness business. This is generate $20,000 per month through Airbnbs, right? For example, e-commerce, etc. A lot of companies, this is an example, that are selling some sort of online education, coaching program, consulting program. This is the industry I'm talking about. Now, what's going on is they have a big problem. What is this problem? Well, the problem is that typically these people, they're very, very good at marketing. So they create massive audiences. They have massive audiences of people that they want to work with them, but they're running a business. So they are not able to talk one-on-one in a Zoom meeting with all these people to be able to enroll them into the program. And have in mind that these people already want to work with them. So they have a lot of demand, but they don't have enough capacity. And because they are losing a lot of opportunity and they now need a solution, they go online, they start looking for high-ticket closers. They're looking for people that they have the skill, that can represent their brand, and they can hop on these calls and do the closing for them so they can continue to grow the business. And that's what's creating right now this demand. As you can see, hiring high-ticket closer, OTs. OTs mean on-track earnings, $10,000 to $30,000 per month. Looking for 2 closers, trading offer. Looking for a closer, fitness offer. Now hiring, master connectors, setters, closers. That's another role inside of high-ticket sales. looking for a female closer, hiring one SDR, appointment setter, 4 sales development representatives, sales operation, 2A players. There is a lot of demand, and you can see the earnings, the income potential. So these 3 forces are converging in the market right now, creating the opportunity. And what is this opportunity? It's called high ticket closing. And this is an example, right? So we have Cody Sanchez here has a coaching program. Well, she might have multiple different services. But what she does is she has a team of closers. It can be 1 closer, 2 closers, 3 closers. And if you want to work with her on her team, you speak with a remote closer. We don't say it like that externally. This is more like an internal term. And people talk with the closer. If they're a good fit, the closer will collect the payment and will enroll them into the program. And with 1 close, you can make between $5,000 to $1,000 per close, per sale. We're actually going to see the math in a second. But this is what most people overlook. And is understanding the reason why these people have this bleeding problem. And there are a couple of them. Number 1, they don't like or they don't want to do the closing. It might just simply be a fulfilling thing. It's like they build a business so they can focus on spreading the message, or they can focus on working with the clients, or they might want to do in-person retreats. Like, not everybody likes to be enrolling clients and closing clients. Another one is they might enjoy it, but they're too busy creating content, handling client work, or putting out fires. Or number 3, they want to scale. They want to continue to grow the company, grow the vision, grow the mission. And the only way they can do that is they need to replace themselves. So there are multiple reasons why this is a big, big problem, and they're willing to pay very, very, very well. Number 1, because the problem is big, but number 2 is because this model, this industry is very, very profitable. That's the thing, because they are very profitable. They can pay 10% commission, 15% commission per sale on a high ticket deal. And if you want one-on-one coaching and hands-on help with this, you don't have to do it alone. This is exactly what we do in the RCS Academy. We help you become a high ticket closer from zero. And this is exactly what we've done for George, for Guido, and from Ben. This is exactly how they're making 5 digits per month with this skill. Now, let's get into, remember how I mentioned before, you don't need to speak with strangers, call, or anything like that? Let's take a look at that. These people are already interested in working with the brand. But they have already decided they want to fix the problem. They're looking for solutions. That's the thing. So everybody, as a remote closer, everybody that's coming to you, it's coming to you. Like the people you're talking with is because they're interested in fixing a problem and they're seeking for help. So what's going on here in the closing call, this is what happens. There's a discovery section of the conversation where you're going to understand where the person is at, where the problems they're having, mainly to see if the problem they have aligns with the solution you guys have, okay? And if that's the case, then you can walk them and break down the solution. And then if everything makes sense, you can answer some questions and then you enroll the clients. Another question that we get as well is like, what is it that I am responsible for? It's very simple. You're 2 things. Number 1, you're responsible for holding closing calls. And number 2, you're responsible for enrolling the right customers. What I mean by enrolling is collecting the payment on the call and onboard them into the service. Now, how does this look like on a weekly basis and a day-to-day basis? Here's an example, okay? You would take on average 5 meetings per day. You can take more, of course. And that's it. You host these meetings, you enroll the right clients. You don't need to close everybody to hit your goals. We're actually going to see the math. So let's say, and this is an example with very, very minimal numbers. Like if you get really, really good at this and you focus on being the best you can be, then you can make much more. So that's why I put disclaimer, what you put in is what you get. So let's say that you're having 5 calls a day, okay? 5 calls a day from Monday to Friday. Those are 20 calls a week. So 20 conversations you're having, okay? Multiply that by 4 is 80 calls in a month, all right? Let's say the program service, the program price is $8.5K, okay? In high ticket, it's going to be anywhere between $5,000 all the way to $30,000, all right? And let's say that your close ratio is 25%. So out of 4 conversations you have, you typically close 1 person. You make 1 enrollment, all right? And in this offer, you negotiated a 10% commission. So that means that you get $850 per sale every time you make a sale. Now, these are the variables. Let's see the numbers. Let's see the results. So 80 conversations in a month and your close rate is 25%. That means 20 sales. 20 sales times $850 per sale, that's $17K in a month. And that is from 20 hours a week of actual work, actually being on conversations with people. And again, this is just you only having a 25% close ratio. You have a better close ratio, you make more money. You negotiate a better commission percentage, you make more money. You take more calls, you make more money. You sell something more expensive, you can make more money. These are your levers. This is how you can increase your income potential. But again, with a price ticket like this commission, this close rate, 15, 20 sales a month, nothing crazy. So to recap, it's one skill, it's one responsibility. You don't need to start a business. You don't need to write, record, edit. There's no upfront expenses. Like for example, as a personal brand, you need to invest in gear, etc. No upfront expenses in terms of team and overhead. No upfront capital, like in other business models where you have to invest on ads or inventory. And because of that, there is much less risk because you have to put less upfront in terms of capital in that sense. There's no capital required, essentially. Therefore, there is a low entry barrier because at the end of the day, it's just learning one skill. That's really what it is. It's an amazing stepping stone for entrepreneurship. In fact, it has been proven that it's the skill that has created more millionaires. And it's a recession-proof skill because when we hit a recession, there's an economic downfall. The most important thing a company needs to still have to be able to survive is marketing and sales. This is exactly what we do. This is exactly what I did, but also what we do in the RCS Academy. We help you become a remote closer. Like David closing 20K deal in his offer, or Roya closed for 10K yesterday. So essentially 1K in commissions in one day. Or for example, Joey that just hit $10,000 in a single month. Or I believe this is Scott making $12,000 per month with days to spare. Like he didn't even finish the month. This is exactly what remote closing is and how it can totally transform your life. It's way easier, it's much more achievable for normal people, and standards are crazy low right now. You don't need to be LeBron James. You don't need to be Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo to be able to make $10,000 per month. You truly don't. You just need to have hard work ethics, like work ethic, have the right framework, have the right path so you can avoid mistakes and you can get there in less than a year. I did it. And I have a Spanish accent, so you can imagine. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Yes, at this stage, you're still trading time for money, but you're leveraging a high income skill. So you're making the most out of every single hour because these skills allows you to earn a lot per hour. Being way easier, because it's way easier than any other entrepreneurship model out there. This is just one skill, but being way easier doesn't mean no effort. Okay, doesn't mean that people are just going to hop on calls and just throw money at you. If you hop on these calls without the skills, you don't understand how to do this properly, you're actually going to blow up deals and you're going to be able to last 2 weeks working with a company because you don't have the skill. Implies a personal and professional transformation because remote closing is not a job. Is entrepreneurship. Imagine it like a one client agency. You have an agency that you only work with one client, and the service that you provide is you do the closing on their behalf. Now, the big question is, how do you know this is for you? Because closing is not for everybody. So here are a couple of questions that are going to help you get that clarity. The first question is, do you know what you want? Do you actually know what it is that you want? Not only the goals, but what is your vision? Beyond the money, what type of life do you want to live? What type of activities are you engaged on a day-to-day basis? If you don't know that, then it doesn't matter, like it's irrelevant which vehicle is for you because you don't have a destination yet. Does that make sense? How can you fix this? Schedule time to be with yourself, with water, coffee, whatever that might be, and just write it down. Just write down what you want for your ideal life. If you could design the perfect life for you, the one that truly has meaning to you, what would that look like? What would you do? Where would you live? Where would you wake up? What would you do on a day-to-day? Use your imagination and visualize your perfect life. You can do that. You have that ability. You just have to sit down and do that, write that down. Whatever that might be, okay? And then the second question is, okay, does this vehicle, remote closing, aligns with my vision? Does it help me in the best way based on where I'm at and where I want to be? Does it put me in the best position to get there? Do you see the most important? This is a very, very important question that I've asked a lot of people that ask me, hey, I don't know if this is for me. I ask them, do you see yourself learning this skill and doing this? But most importantly, do you see yourself enjoying remote closing? And this is very simple. It's like, are you someone that enjoys helping people, enjoys talking to people? Or are you someone that you would just rather be in front of a computer, not having to talk to anybody? Right? That's why we need coders. That's why we need editors, because those type of individuals, they thrive and they love being alone, not having to communicate with anybody, and they are just there doing their thing. But if you like talking to people, you like inspiring people, you like communicating, helping people, because that's what closing is. We're helping people solve the problems. Then high chance that remote closing is for you. Now, if right now you are already at that stage of clarity, this video gave you all the information and you connected the dots the way you needed to connect, and you are like I was 4 years ago, where I was like, this is exactly what I need to go from zero to my first 20K per month. If you are already at that place, now the question is how can I get into this vehicle in the next 6 to 12 months, go all in and get from where I'm at to 15 to 20K per month as a remote closer? There are only two paths. Path number one is going on your own, trying to figure things out on your own. And if you're consistent, you will eventually get there. Path number two is getting help from someone who has already been where you want to be, and there is proof that that person has helped others achieve similar results. And if that's you with path number two, then check out the description below to apply for the RCS Academy, where we help you from zero all the way to become a remote closer with hands-on coaching and training. And if you want to go with step number one, go on your own, you can leverage this YouTube channel where I'm posting every single week on how to go from zero to becoming a high ticket closer.